Hey guys, and welcome back to Regrexit, Brexit Britain, a country who decided it was going to break a Guinness World Record by walking across Siberia in summer clothing. I believe flip flops with socks and Bermuda shorts. And also, welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all of your messages you sent me, and a special thanks here to everyone who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that have signed up, so thank you so much for that. I'll go through all the messages, I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all the messages for definite. So we've got, so today, in fact, yesterday in Parliament, Boris Johnson said that he was going to bring all the minutes for the deal what Owen Paterson set up for Randox, right? Which is the company that Owen Paterson was lobbying for, right? And overnight, I've heard that they've lost the minutes for the meeting. Do you understand, right, that when you lose the minutes for a meeting, right, or your mobile phone that you were setting up the deals with, which should be your ministerial phone or whatever, but your mobile phone or your Lord's phone, which you were setting up your PPE deals with, you've lost the phone. The phone's broken. Is dropped in a bucket of acid. The dog bit it up. Right, the cat's taken it somewhere and hidden it somewhere you don't know where. Right. Oh, you know what? Actually, I cleared all the data. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Right. These guys are under some. These guys are. Listen, if you're telling me that that's not corruption, right? If they're truly saying, oh, sorry, but we've lost the minutes, so we can't tell because apparently, Owen Paterson sat in on the meeting, right? Now he was, I believe, that he was actually cleared, right, by whatever committee, right, to say that he didn't actually that although he seemed to be lobbying for this company, right, he never really had anything to do with actually getting the money, getting the £600 million contract for them, right, which. You just think to yourself, seriously, you're going to tell us that he sat in on the meeting, he was lobbying for them, but when it comes down to the 600 million, he didn't, right? And most of these committees, are cross-party. So it just goes to show you, that when you really get down to when you really get down to it, right? You see, if Boris Johnson, didn't do any of his foolishness, right, Owen Paterson he would have probably still been an MP. Right. If these guys wasn't so stupid, Owen Paterson had just taken his 30 days, right? His constituents are so fucking stupid. They would have probably just said, oh yeah, well, we think he's a good man anyway. We think he's a good man, right? Even though, right, he's been caught out, right? Because with the right wing, they don't really care. Then people they'd vote for a fucking paedophile. They're not. They vote for paedophiles, rapists, murderers. They don't care. Seriously, these guys. All you have to do is just look at the right wing in America, right? When you think about it, right? At the moment you've got like the Carl Rittenhouse trial going on, and you've got another one, Ahmaud Arbery. Right now, Ahmaud Arbery, right, was just jogging, and he got chased down by 3 white guys and murdered. Right, and these guys, right, they chased him down with a gun and murdered him. Right, and these guys, right, are in court, right, pleading not guilty, pleading self-defense. You think to yourself, well, you've gone after him with a gun, right? There's been a struggle, and what defense have you got? Right, but I don't. You know what I don't understand, right? How you can look at a white person can look at another white person and say, you know what? Actually, if we get a load of white people on the jury, right, then there's a good chance that we can get. With what defense? What defense have you got? For 3 of you chasing down one man, he's ended up dead. Right? What defense are you using? And what gets me, right, is there are defence counsels out there, right, who will who are pushing this whole racism thing, because it's just saying, no, 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 no. You can't fix the jury in that way, right? Because, I'm telling you something from now. I'll guarantee you this, right? If you had, a black defendant, right, you couldn't stack a whole lot of black people on the jury, right, and expect to look and say, yeah, brother, don't worry, brother, I'm gonna get you off this. No. Because we'd look at the evidence, right? And if the evidence say, you know what, you're damn fucking guilty, then you're fucking guilty. And as far as I'm concerned, if you chase down somebody, right, with like, three of you chase down somebody and you've got a gun, right, and that person ends up dead, what defense are you using? I don't understand. What self-defense is there? You're chasing the person with a gun. It's the same with Rittenhouse. He's gone, right, to a demonstration with a gun, ended up killing 2 people, right, and end up wounding a third. And somehow he's pleading not guilty. And you think to yourself, well, what self-defense? If you wasn't there with a gun, right, this wouldn't have happened. It's crazy. Seriously, this world is crazy, right? And people, especially people on those juries need to look at themselves and say, hold on a minute, right? What? Because I'm the same colour as you, you think that I should let you off murdering people? Seriously? The whole thing is just ridiculous. Right, because what they're saying, because Carl Rittenhouse, he murdered 2 white people and wounded another white person, right? So what these guys are saying, even for white people who support, Black Lives Matter, right? It's okay to murder them as well. Come on, man, what kind of fucking world are we living in? Seriously. But anyway, let's get back to England. That's where we are, right? So, so as I was saying, the whole Randox thing, right? It just goes to show you how rotten the Tories really are, because they've said that they've lost the paperwork and they can't find the minutes, right, to the meeting. So there's nothing to see here, obviously, right? And oh my God, it looks like part of HS2 is to be cancelled. It's the part that goes from the Midlands to Leeds. Would that be levelling up areas? Would that be areas that are going to be levelled up? You see, I wonder if 37 billion could have helped. Yeah, if 37 billion, right, could have helped, to actually finish it all off there. Because that 37 billion, it's us who's got to pay that back anyway. They've taken it. They're all nice themselves up. So they're taking it. And if you see how pissed the Tories are. If you see Prime Minister's questions yesterday, behind Boris Johnson there was loads of empty spaces on the benches, loads of empty spaces, because these guys are pissed right now, right? But apparently he's made them vote on the he didn't want them to vote on the Labour motion, because the Labour motion went far too far for the Tories, right? So they voted that one down, but I believe they voted on their own motion, right? Which just loosens things up a bit, right? But it just but you believe me, right? The way how the Tories have worded it, there's going to be ways around what they're doing, because that's why they didn't want to go for the Labour one, because they knew the Labour was just straight out. There's no second jobs, do you know what I mean? Unless it's this, and this, right? So so you just be looking at like your doctors, and authors, and and then probably one or two other professions, but they'd all be professions, but nothing to do with where there's nothing to do with lobbying. But I guarantee you, how the Tories have done it, it's going to be, we can do some lobbying here anyway. Still, that's how they would have worked it. Do you know what I mean? I see Dominic Rabb was just on the TV and on the radio a little while ago, saying that migrants, right, that land on our beaches, are now going to be sent to Albania or to Rwanda for processing, because they want to follow Australia, right? Australia, one of the most inhumane places in the world. Right? A country so fucking large, right, that they've got farms that are bigger than England. Farms. Right? That's how fucking large the fucking country is, right? And like, you know what? even though we came here and we slaughtered the Aborigines to take their land. Because we discovered it, of course. I don't know how you can discover something that's already fucking there with people living on it. But, you know, we discovered it. You know, so it's ours. And now, we don't want anybody coming here. Right? Even though we've got millions and millions of acres of land. Hectares of land. Right? But you know what? I don't understand it. I don't understand people from Europe and from the West. Yeah, you're gonna spread yourself out all over the world. Right? You're quick to say, you know what? We need to bomb these motherfuckers back to the fucking Stone Age. Right? Look how yesterday a British jet crashed, right? And how quick they are to tell us, oh, it's worth £100 million. Well, fucking scrap now. Right? Because this is what these guys do. They take money and spend it all on fucking military hardware. You know, listen, let me tell you, right? I absolutely love military planes. Just hate what they do. But, the technology is just something else. So I love all military planes. Right? But just, what they do, I find completely disgusting. Right? But, yeah, so these guys, want to follow Australia, seriously, right? When it comes down to Australia, yeah, and migrants, right? Australia's probably the most racist country since Nazi Germany. Okay, you can't have so much fucking space, right? And say, you know what? It's like seriously, you can't have so much space, right? And don't want to help anybody. It's like, you know what? No. We're going to process these people somewhere else because we don't want them coming here. Seriously. You know what I mean? You thief a country, you murder millions of Aborigines, millions of them, right? And then you've got the cheek to tell other people you can't come here. Seriously. I just think you're scum. That's what I think. I just think it's the Australian government, because I know that a lot of the Australian citizens, yeah, will be like the people in this country. So they will be pissed at what their government is doing in their name. But obviously there's going to be all Australia's probably got plenty of their own Nigel Farages, right? Who's there winding up, right, the rest of the the Australians who they can wind up, So it's just the same, right? It's just the same here. Do you know what I mean? Britain, we want to go around the world, right, spreading democracy, bombing people back into the fucking Stone Ages, right? We've just had this guy try to blow up Liverpool Women's Hospital, right? Now, apparently, this guy told him that he come from Syria, which at our hands and the Americans and the rest of the fucking Europeans, Syria's been fucked over, right? But it turns out this guy was actually from Iraq, and what's happened in Iraq? Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so this is the problem, right? This is the problem. This guy, we don't know what's happened to his family in Iraq. All we know is he's here. And he's got mental health issues. That's all we know. Right? He's here. He's got mental health issues. We don't know what's happened to his people in Iraq. They could have been murdered by coalition forces. Right? We're just lucky, right, that he only blew himself up. So we just have to take blessings for that. That's the only thing that was the worst that happened. He blew himself up. Do you know what I mean? Because as I said, right, we go around the world, we're spreading democracy, right, all around the world, right? But what really gets me, yeah, is how the politicians just want you to look over there. They're just like, look at those migrants over there. Look at them. Oh, can you see them? Can you see them? Oh, look, they're there. They're there. And it's like, Dominic, yeah, get the other £1 billion, take it out, get it out. Because that's what they're doing. Right? to keep you away from how much they're fucking the country up. They're like, oh look, some migrants over there. There's a migrant boat. Look at that. Terrible, terrible. Shall we start a war? Shall we go and start a war somewhere? Like, I don't know, Afghanistan? Have they had enough? I don't know. Look at all these countries, yeah, complete basket cases. Now, what do people want to get away from them? Because we hold up regimes, right, that treat their people really badly. They treat their people like it's some type of fucking medieval shit, right? People have got smartphones in their fucking pocket. They can see the West. They can look and they can see. You know what? Actually, in England, police don't carry guns. That's quite a big thing, especially if you're a person of colour. It's more so if you're a person of colour. It's definitely a fucking massive thing, right? So they can look and they can see all these things. They're watching films, American and British films. They can see all these things, and they're in countries they're being held down by regimes that we are propping up, by regimes that we put into power. Right? We go and we destroy. Look, was Iraq, right? Was never like a basket case like this when Saddam Hussein was alive. But we think the best use of our time is to go there and kill 750,000 people, to get rid of him and his family. And now look, it's a fucking basket case. We've got people from Iraq in this country trying to blow up women in maternity hospitals. Right? We've got little girls, right? We've got little Muslim girls, right, going into MPs' offices, yeah, and trying to stab them up and kill them because that MP voted for the war in Iraq. But they'll say to you, oh no, she was radicalised. That's what happened. You radicalised. Yeah, she was fucking radicalised by the House of Parliament. That's who radicalised her. Okay, this is but this has been going on for all this time. But you know what? Don't come here. Don't come here. Right? That's right. We can fuck your country up. Right? But you know something? Go to another region. Go somewhere that's closer to where you are. Right? Go to Lebanon. They've got Lebanon's taken in over 3.5 million. Right? Iraqis and Syrians. Right? All around those regions. Jordan, all around those regions. They've taken in millions. Right? Britain get a few thousand. Oh God, they're taking over. They're taking the whole country over. Look, they're getting £38. Right? And a hotel room. Give me a fucking break, man. Seriously, you people need to get yourself a fucking life and stop being such racist fucking assholes. Right? Where you see all this nonsense going on in the world, yeah, it's us who's brought it on. Look, we're locking up, environmental protesters. We're locking them up. Right? Yeah. In a few years, when the fucking world heats up, yeah, how are you going to stop the fucking exodus? I mean, because that's what it is. It's an exodus, and it's a movement of God's people. Yeah, that's what it is. Right? How are you going to stop the exodus once that happens, though? You're not going to stop it, are you? Right? You're not going to be able to stop it. Right? Once other people's countries start to warm up. Right? Forget the fucking, the bad treatment what some of these people are getting from their governments, and we don't want to help them then. You're going to help them once the world warms up, and all these people need to start, because this might happen in a lot of in Western countries. Right, so you could have people from the West who need to move too, from certain places, Anyway, speaking about some Brexit, of course. So we've got if you notice, yeah, that Britain has been backing down from a trade war with the EU, and you know why? Because they're weak as motherfuckers. That's why. Because they're out of moves. They've got nothing left. I've been telling you this for how long now? They've got nothing. They're done. Right, and you know what? Right, they tried all their moves, right, and their big moves came to nothing, as they always was going to, right? Because I don't understand what these people was thinking, right? Why they was thinking, Britain still rules the waves, right? This shit has gone from so long ago Do you know what I mean? The world is a much more smaller place now, right? You know, people, you know, it's just, you know, I don't understand why Britain was thinking it can live off its old reputation, right? Because now it's completely at the mercy of the EU, completely. Because it's got nothing. Britain's got nothing going for it. It's got nothing at all going for it. Right? Got nothing at all going for it, right? You know. Remember, right? Why Britain went into the EU in the first place? Because it was the sick man of Europe. Now over £2.25 trillion in debt. Right? Do you think that situation can get any better? Right? All they're doing, is just printing money because there's nothing else they can do. Talk about borrowing. Who the fuck they borrowing it from? Who they borrowing it from? Have aliens come down from somewhere that they're borrowing money from aliens? No, they're not borrowing it from anywhere. Borrowing it from the Bank of England, who's just printing it. That's all. Right? They've fucked up the economy. The economy, yeah, has been fucked up. Right? And that's down to you stinking Brexiters who voted, right, against your own interest. And look what's happened to you now. Right? And you know, that I think it's coming in maybe April or July, but British pies, yeah, will no longer be allowed in the EU, right, unless you can prove, right, that they've come from an EU, that the ingredients have come from an EU, right, approved supplier. See, just another Brexit bonus, right? Our pies will no longer be any good in the EU. So get them out. They don't want them. They don't want no British pies up in there no more. Don't want them. Because it's another Brexit bonus, you see. You know, along with, like, you know, the highest inflation in a decade, the farming industry in crisis, gas and electric highest costs, right? Petrol and diesel highest cost ever. Food prices highest cost ever, right? You know, over 2 trillion in debt, 160,000 of our fellow citizens dead, right? 37 billion pounds stolen by the Tories, and that is what you fucking fools voted for. You voted for the destruction of this country, right? You know, our qualifications not recognised in the EU, right? Pigs being burnt, right, culled and burnt the carcasses. Right? Some farmers have had to get clever and send the carcasses into the EU to be processed. Right? You tell me, is that what you voted for? In fact, of course that's what you voted for. You voted for chaos because you knew that you was going to get chaos, right? But your racist ass did not fucking care. So this, motherfuckers, serves you the motherfuck right. This, my friends, is By Any Means Necessary. I'm the MC John Ribbs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.